Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatu no Jagatraya Guruhu. Krishnam Namasyamyaham. Krishne Namarasyatravo Vinihataha. Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. Krishnadeva Samuthitam Jagadidam. Krishnasya Dasosmyaham. Krishne Tisthati Sarvametadakhilam. He Krishna Samrakshamam. Jai Srimanarayana, with blessings of Sri Chinnaja Swamiji. We're continuing Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7. We skipped sloka 3 earlier, so we'll chant sloka 3, we'll learn sloka 3, and then we'll move on to sloka 7.
Jai Srimanarayana, Lord Prasad.
Jai Srimanarayana. Jai Srimanarayana. Hope you're able to see sloka 3 and
Yeah, you can see it.
Yes.
okay. Let's chant. Manusyanam sahasreshu
Manusyanam sahasreshu
kaschit yatati siddhaye
kaschid yatati siddhaye
yatatamapi siddhanam
yatatamapi siddhanam
kaschinmam vetti tattvataha.
kaschinmam vetti tattvataha.
Let's chant together. Manusyanam sahasreshu
Sahasreshu
kaschit
kaschid
yatati
yatati
siddhaye
siddhaye
yatatamapi
yatatamapi
siddhanam
siddhanam
kaschinmam
kaschinmam vetti
vetti
tattvataha.
tattvataha. Jai Srimanarayana. So we are in Jnana Yoga, right? So in this particular chapter, Lord Krishna is explaining about himself, about Paramatma. We are knowing in detail about Paramatma, right? So Lord Krishna is saying, before he explains about himself, so he's saying, Manushyanam sahasreshu, among thousands of men, kaschit siddhaye yatati. Perhaps one strives for perfection. Siddhaye yatati. One strives for, perhaps one strives for perfection. So maybe one who would like to know me, right? Yatatam siddhanam api. Api is even among those who achieved perfection in yoga. Yatatam siddhanam api kaschit mam vetti tattvataha. Hardly one knows me really. Okay, so basically before explaining about himself, Lord Krishna is clearly telling us that out of thousands of men means out of millions, out of millions, perhaps one will try to become a supreme yogi, like we were talking about, right? So one who wants to elevate themselves, right? Among those who achieved perfection in yoga, even among those who are becoming, supreme yogis, even among them, perhaps even one who hardly knows me. So basically what Lord Krishna is explaining is not many people will be able to explain about me. Right? In short, he's saying no one knows me clearly. Okay, so it is me, Paramatma, Lord Krishna, has to explain about himself, right? People don't know about me clearly. then who can explain about me? If I say, oh, I don't want to explain about myself, I don't like to brag about myself, then nobody will know about me, right? So if I have a lot of good qualities, okay, that no one knows me and no one knows those qualities that I have. No one can even imagine. It is beyond their imagination. No one tries to even know me. In that case, who can tell about myself? It's only God who can tell about himself, right? So when he's explaining about himself, right, it is not that he's, is bragging about himself or saying something that is not true. It is because nobody can explain about me clearly. Nobody knows me clearly. That's why I'm going to explain to you about myself. And as we have seen in the later slokas, 4, 5, 6, I mean, we wouldn't have imagined Paramatma would start with explaining about himself, saying, I have two natures. One nature is the material nature, right? Composed of 5 elements, 8 elements, 5 Panchabhutas, right? And then um, uh, uh, Manas, Buddhi, and Ahankara, right? So these, it is very difficult for anybody to even imagine that. So, and one of the reasons why there is a lot of misconception about Paramatma is people try to imagine based on their own imagination, talk about him. So it is like going into a dark room and touching some object and saying, okay, I think this is a table. I think this is a chair. I think this is a bed. It's like that. We all of them could be touching the same thing, but based on uh, their own understanding, imagination, they will say something. Like we have that famous story about blind people. They try to touch an elephant. They will describe the elephant as a snake or pillars or something else, right? Um, so it is difficult for people to explain about me if they try to imagine something and then tell. I mean, we can extrapolate on this, and so one is he's the only one who can explain about himself very clearly. Second is difficult for people to explain about him because it is beyond their imagination. Not many people know about me. Out of all those who try, perhaps one hardly knows me really. Okay, so there could be one who can know me very clearly, but if someone comes and says, "Oh, I'll explain about God," and then start explaining, and we have to take it with a pinch of salt, right? It's not that anybody will be able to explain. Okay, so whatever we are going to learn, it is the authentic knowledge from the source himself. Okay, so there is no imagination coming in, there is no interpretation coming in, there is no filling the gaps. Like, I know two things and then I don't know the middle, so let me say something and then fill the gap and then tell whatever I want. It is not like that. Paramatma is giving everything the truth, only the truth, very clearly. Nobody else in the world can do it. Right? So we can take this as authentic source, Bhagavad Gita as authentic source, and the slokas that are given here to understand who is God, right? We need not have any imagination interpretations, very clearly given. Of course, not only in chapter 7, but he will continue to elaborate further as in the later chapters as well. So we, by the end of Bhagavad Gita, we know very clearly about Paramatma. In fact, the purpose of giving this message is to explain about himself to us. Okay, because nobody else could have done it. And why we need to know it? Can anyone guess? Now, why we need to know about him?
So that we can obtain him. If
He
we
is the
know
only means.
Paramatma's, yeah,
Whatever we want, whatever we need, whatever we want, whether it is materialistic, whether it is reaching, reaching Paramatma, the liberation, whatever result we want, he is the only means, right? So definitely the liberation is, no one else. He's the only means. But everything else also, he's the source. He's the reason why we would get any results. But unfortunately, we don't recognize that while we are in this body, if we don't know about him. So if we know about him, we know everything is supported by him. Everything belongs to him. He's the one who is giving everything to us. He's the one who we need to surrender to, nobody else. So like that, everything revolves around him, right? So our entire life depends on him. We need him, so we need to know him, right? Um, so he's very clearly explaining about himself. We already saw 4, 5, and 6. So we'll move on to sloka 7. Any questions?
Well, I presume the direct correlation to for this one to how many people get moksha. I mean, I think that's why people don't know him pretty much.
Yes. Yeah, indirectly. Perfect. Thanks for that. So, of course, if we don't know him very clearly, it's not possible for us to get liberation, right? So many people try to get the liberation, but out of that, only one would succeed. So first of all, many people will try to even know about Paramatma and stop there, right? Not try to get the liberation. So out of those people who are trying to know about Paramatma, only one would try to reach him, right? And out of those who try to reach him, only one would attain moksha. So that is another meaning of this particular sloka. That's good. Thank you. We'll go to sloka 7. 7th sloka. Please chant. Mattah parataram nanyat
Mattah parataram nanyat
kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamidam protam
protam
sutre manigana iva.
sutre manigana iva.
Let's chant together.
Mattah
Mattah parataram
Nanyat
nanyat kinchidasti
kinchidasti
dhananjaya
dhananjaya
Mayi
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 sarvamidam
sarvamidam
protam
protam
sutre
sutre
manigana
manigana
iva.
iva. All very important slokas. Lord Krishna is saying, Hey Dhananjaya, O conqueror of wealth, Arjuna, Mattaha Parataram Anyat Kinchit Na Asti. There is nothing superior beyond Mattaha Parataram Na Anyat Kinchit Asti. There is nothing superior beyond me. Idam Sarvam Mayi Protam. All these beings are stunned in me, in me. Like how Sutre Vanigana Iva, like money, pearls or gems on a thread, on a sutra, by a thread, right? So like how we have all the pearls, that are made in a garland, they're supported by the thread inside them, right? So very simple explanation of who God is. So he said, all beings are created by my two prakritis, the material nature and the jivatmas. Okay, Achit and Chit. So all these beings, are they independent? Can they support themselves? No. They are supported by me. There is nothing superior to me, beyond me, superior beyond me. So all these beings, they are all dependent on me. They are how they are dependent is like you have all these pearls that are in a thread, in a garland, right? In a necklace. So the thread, you can't see the thread, right? Usually we can't see the thread. They're all on the thread, but we can't see it, right? So just because we can't see, can we say there is no thread? They're all just hanging like that. Now let us say there is a garland, there's a pearl necklace with all the pearls on a thread. So I'm holding like that, and then you can't see the thread in between them, right? So all the pearls are perfectly aligned, hanging in the air. Can you say the pearls are hanging in the air by themselves? No, right? Nobody would say that. So all of us are, looking like hanging, flying, and we're all, when we look at ourselves, all of us, all beings in this universe, we are like those pearls who are hanging in the air. We think we are independent. We are hanging in the air by ourselves, but there is something that is supporting all of them. That how the pearls are supported by a thread, Paramatma is supporting all these beings. Okay, so to a layman, it will appear like we are independent. We can do things on our own, right? We have all the power to do whatever we want, and we can even, as a human being, we can rule this universe. We can rule this earth. We can do anything that we want, and acquire anything that we want from this nature. That is a kind of everything is created for our own sake, right? Otherwise, why would somebody give this much intelligence to us, right? It's a kind of logic. So because I got this intelligence, I am most powerful. I can do whatever I want. All those who are less powerful than me, they are dependent on me. All this logic uh, comes if we don't know him, clearly. He is the one who is supporting all of us, like the thread in a necklace, or like necklace. Okay. So we are dependent on Paramatma. God does not depend on any of us. Like the thread does not depend on the gems, right? The thread can stay independently, but the pearls cannot stay independently. Right? Pearls are dependent on the thread. Okay. Um, um, so we are all dependent on him for our own survival. Like the pearls on a thread, right? They're dependent on the thread. If the thread breaks, what happens? All the pearls will fall down, right? So the pearls are dependent on the thread. Same way we are all dependent on him. But again, to someone who does not know Paramatma, know about him, who does not know about him clearly, they will think we are independent, right? One more thing is that God is present in all these entities. Okay, He is the one who is supporting. He is the one who is giving energy to all these entities, all these beings. Okay, so He is the one who is Antaryami, who is dwelling, who is present in all beings and supporting from inside, who is also outside and supporting all beings. Okay, so uh, so because God is present in all beings and providing energy, providing support to all beings, just like how our body is supported by Atma, body cannot function unless we have it has Atma in it. Same way, since Paramatma is present in all beings and all beings cannot function unless Paramatma's energy is there, right? Unless Paramatma provides energy, we can say that Paramatma is Atma for this entire universe, and this universe becomes his body. Okay, like how Atma in this body is supporting this body, right? Like that, Paramatma is present in the entire universe and supporting all bodies. So each body, which looks independent to a layman, but each of these bodies are all dependent on him. So when all these planets that are that are rotating around sun, all these different galaxies that are there, going from our solar system to all the galaxies and Milky Way and all that, right? Everything is supported by him like a thread with a thread, right? Thread is physical that we can see, but there is some thread that is connecting all these objects that we cannot see, which is making this whole universe function in an orderly fashion. Like how the thread, the necklace, the beads on a necklace, they are in an order. If you move a little bit like that, they will only move in that, in that movement only, right? Little bit movement. They will not suddenly fall out, right? Even if you move a little bit. So this entire universe is kind of connected through that thread, which is Paramatma. Okay, and Paramatma is the one who is keeping it in order. Okay. Any questions on this? If not, we'll move to the next one. These are all continuous. Lord Krishna is explaining about himself, about Paramatma, very clearly. We can understand now who is God. Okay. Now the next one. Next sloka 8. Rasohamapsu kaunteya
Rasohamapsu kaunteya
prabhasmi sasi suryayoho
Prabhasmi shashi suryayoho
pranavah sarva vedeshu
Pranava sarva vedeshu
shabdah ke paurusham rushu.
Shabdah khe paurusham drushu
Let's chant together. Rasohamapsu
Rasohamapsu
kaunteya
kaunteya Prabhasmi
asmi sasi
suryayoho
suryayoho
Pranava
pranava sarva vedeshu
Shabda
Shabdah khe paurusham drushu
rushu. In this sloka, Lord Krishna is saying, Hey Kaunteya, Arjuna, Aham apsu rasaha, rasoham apsu. Aham apsu rasaha. I am taste in water. Okay. Or flavor in water. That the taste that you get. Okay. The quality of water is taste. Then next he's saying, Prabhaha asmi sasi suryayoho. Prabha asmi sasi suryayoho. I am light radiance in the moon and sun. Sasi suryayoho. In moon and sun, I am Prabha, the radiance, light. Pranava sarva vedeshu. Okay. Pranavaha sarva vedeshu asmi. I am the Om. Pranavaha is a syllable Om. Om is the pronoun. Om syllable in the Vedas. Okay. Sarva vedeshu in all Vedas. Ke shabdaha. I am the sound vibration in the space. Okay. Nrushu paurusham asmi. Paurusham Nrushuhu, he said, right? I am the Paurusham is typically in other languages. Paurusham is that bravery, the valor, that kind of meaning comes. But Paurusham is that endeavoring ability, the trying, working ability, endeavoring ability. So I want to do things, right? That ability. So that is Paurusham Nrishu is in people. Okay, so that endeavoring ability in people. So Lord Krishna is now talking about, in this particular sloka, is talking about the qualities, right? See, he said all beings dependent on him. Now he's saying, I am these qualities in them. So I am the taste in water. I am radiance in the, in moon and sun. So the light, whatever is coming, that I am. I am the Om syllable in Vedas. I am the sound vibration in space. So sound is the quality of the space. I am the ability, the endeavoring ability in humans, right? So I am this quality. I am. So whatever qualities these have, we will continue. We will continue the qualities in next sloka also. So we can't say this quality is mine, belongs to me. I have this quality by myself, right? So if I'm able to, work hard, I'm able to work. Is it my quality that I'm able to work? It is Paramatma's, it is Paramatma actually. So the qualities are also supported by Paramatma. Okay, all beings are supported by Paramatma. All the qualities of all beings are also supported by Paramatma. Okay, so I am just an instrument. So now it becomes like I am just an instrument, isn't it? So we are dependent on him for our own survival. Our qualities are also dependent on him. And we have those qualities because of him. Okay. So, I mean, again, unless, Paramatma says these things, it will appear like, hey, I have this quality, my skin is this color and I can speak, I can sing, I can do all the things. Like, I'm a good programmer. I can, I can play the sport. All this I can say I have it, by myself, right? That ignorance comes up. It's a pure ignorance, nothing else. So we need to recognize for any quality that we possess, not only us, the entire universe, any quality that any object is possessing, it is also supported by Paramatma only. Okay. Unless Paramatma gives that quality, that object will not have that quality. Okay, object, living or non-living, doesn't matter. Okay. We'll move on to the next sloka, sloka 9.
One second.
This end sloka.
Rani Garu, can you mute yourself, please? Rani Garu?
How do I mute? 1 second.
Mute her, Rani. Yeah, maybe you can. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Sloka 9. Punyo gandha prudhivyam cha
पुण्यो गन्धपृथिव्यां च
tejaschasmi vibhavasau
तेजश्चास्मि विभावसौ
जीवनं सर्वभूतेषु
जीवनं
जीवनं
सर्वभूतेषु
सर्वभूतेषु
तपश्चास्मि तपस्विषु
तपश्चास्मि
तपस्मि
तपस्विषु
Let's chant together.
पुण्यो
Punyo gandha pradhivyam
गन्धपृथिव्यां
cha
च
tejaschasmi
तेजश्चास्मि
vibhavasau
विभावसौ जीवनं
जीवनं
सर्वभूतेषु
सर्वभूतेषु
तपश्चास्मि
तपस्विषु.
तपस्विषु
Lord Krishna is saying, Pudhivyam punyaha gandhaha asmi. Punyo gandha pudhivyam. I am pure, sacred, pious fragrance in earth. So fragrance is the quality of earth. Okay. So I am that fragrance of earth. Vibhavasau tejaha asmi. I am the heat, brilliance, burning ability in fire, in the fire. Okay. So what is the quality of fire? The heat or burning, ability of and radiance, brilliance, right? That is the quality of fire. So I am that quality. Sarva bhuteshu jivanam asmi. This is ultimate. I am the basis for life in all beings. And tapasvishu tapaha asmi. Tapasvishu tapaha asmi. I am austerity in the ascetics. Tapasvishu in the ascetics. Tapaha, austerity, quality. So the quality of ascetics is austerity quality. So he's that quality. So he's saying, Lord Krishna is saying, I am the austerity in in ascetics, munis, rishis. I am the life in all beings, the basis for life in all beings. I am the heat, burning ability in fire. I am the fragrance in earth. So again, he's explaining about the qualities. Those qualities are supported by him. Okay. So that's a continuation of the previous shloka, is giving more examples of the qualities that we think are belonging to these beings independently. They are somehow, I developed this quality. That's what we think, but it is not. This is not our own development, our own creation. It is Paramatma's, it is the quality that is supported by Paramatma. It is in us because of Paramatma. The life, the quality of us, is life itself, right? The life in all beings is also supported by Paramatma. If he is not supporting, will not have life in all beings.
Varprasad garu, మీరు పుణ్యోగంధ పృథివ్యాం. I think you explained in the beginning, right? What is that, sir? Is it like when I read this right, the original or actual the fragrance that each one has, each entity is him. So
Yes, that quality is him. I am that quality of fragrance in earth. So the quality of water is taste. The quality of earth is fragrance. Okay. So like that, I mean, all the Panchabhutas have their own qualities. Quality of space is sound. Quality of air is touch. What is the fifth one?
Akasam, Shabdham.
Yes, vacuum. Yeah.
Shabdham, right? So
Vayu, fire,
Okay.
apaha, and
Yeah,
Prithvi.
fire we missed. So the
Analaha.
the brilliant and the heat burning ability, that radiance is the quality of fire. So that quality is also him. So each of these five Panchabhutas, five basic elements, have their qualities. So primary quality, right? So you may say, oh, taste is a quality of water, right? But I can taste some solid food. How can you say taste is the quality of water? But so any object, any entity in this universe is a combination of these five elements. So any small, you can cut an object into small pieces. Even that small piece will have these five elements, right? So I mean, it's amazing that space is there in every element, every particle of this universe, right? So it is hard to imagine. People would have laughed if somebody said, "Oh, space is there in this table," right? How can space be in this table? But only after this microscopes, only after people started talking about atoms, we came to know there is space. There is more empty space than actual, in an atom, right? So every entity, any entity, is a combination of these five, and in various amounts. So if you take pure water, right? I mean, the amount of water particles, the percentage of water in that water is really, really high compared to the other four elements, right? So if you take complete solid iron, right? The percentage of water in that is very low, as an example. So, but every object in this universe is a combination of these five elements, and the qualities that all these objects are getting is because of those five elements: the fragrance, the taste, smell, the brilliance, and the touch. So all these are we are getting because of these panchabhutas, the fundamental elements of any object.
Punya, is there any significant
Pure,
word pure? Okay.
yeah. So I mean, in some places, like you can say, I just we have H2S gas, for example. You create that and say that's also Paramatma. It's we created that. It's not the natural fragrance that is coming from the earthly particles, right? So he qualifies certain things like that even later also, that we have to separate out what is our own, our own creation inside that. I mean, corruption that way, that we cannot say it is Paramatma. Like we do any, let us say, Paramatma says, okay, it is the life in you, and it's your endeavoring ability in you is me. Using that ability, if I hurt somebody, can I attribute that to Paramatma? No, right? So he qualifies. So that ability is provided, but that ability which is hurting the person or other being, it is our decision to use that ability in that particular fashion, and we are the ones who will acquire the karmic bondage related to it. So we can't say that as a Paramatma. Somebody is doing any bad activity, we cannot say, hey, this activity. No, Paramatma said its endeavoring ability is Paramatma. So any bad activity, that activity is also Paramatma. No. So in some cases, Paramatma qualified that in its purity, not corrupted by this by us through our karmic bondage. That is Paramatma. Okay. Thank you. Sloka 10. Listen. Bijam mam sarvabhutanam
Bijam
Bijam mam
sarvabhutanam
sarvabhutanam
Vidhi partha sanatanam
Vidhi
Siddhi
Siddhi
Partha
partha
Sanatanam
sanatanam
buddhir buddhimatamasmi
Buddhir
Buddhir
buddhimatamasmi
Buddhimatamasmi
tejas tejasvinamaham.
Tejas tejasvinamaham
Tejasvinamaham
Let's start with it.
Bijam
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 Mam
mam
Sarvabhutanam
sarvabhutanam
Vidhi
Vidhi partha
Sanatanam
sanatanam बुद्धिर्बुद्धिमतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहम्
Lord Krishna is saying in this sloka, "Hey Partha, to Arjuna, Mam Vidhi Sarva Bhutanam Sanatanam Bijam. Bijam Mam Sarva Bhutanam Sanatanam Vidhi." Is that right? So, know me as the eternal seed of all beings. Mam Vidhi, know me. Bijam Sarva Bhutanam Sanatanam. Know me as the eternal seed of all beings. Buddhi, Buddhimatam Asmi. Buddhimatam Buddhi Asmi. And the intelligence of the wise. Okay. So here the qualification came, right? So the Buddhi of wise is the intelligence of the wise. Okay. Not some ignorant people. So then aham tejasvinam tejaha. I am the fearlessness of the powerful, the mental strength of the powerful. Tejaha, tejasvinam. So the mental strength of the powerful. So again, it's a quality of one who is fearless, one who is powerful. They have the mental strength, right? Okay, so that is what I am. So he's saying in the previous sloka also he said the Om of all the Vedas, and the one, all the Vedas are originated from the syllable Om, right? That's the origin of all Vedas. So I am that origin. So all Vedas are explaining about Om, right? Are elaborating on Om. So I am that Om, which is the foundation of.
Let's go. Sorry, Auntie.
So and so the.
everybody, please mute yourself.
I'll send one song.
There is some disturbance coming. Please mute yourself, everyone.
Then I want you to listen one day. They both
Okay,
sing.
1 second. Yeah, I admitted. Okay,
Thank you.
so I am the eternal seed of all beings. I am the intelligence of the wise and the fearlessness, mental strength of the powerful. Okay. So basically, he's by saying that I am the Bijam, right? I am the seed. From me, everything comes up because you know that seed, from seed only the trees come up or plants, right? So I am that seed from which everything else shoots up, right? I am the origin. Okay, I am the one. Again, seed gives the life to a plant or a tree, right? So I am the one who is giving the life. Okay, from God everything comes out. God is the one who is giving us all the qualities. God is the one who is giving the life to everything. God is the origin. God is the seed for all of us.
I have a question, Andy.
Sure, sure.
So everything is coming from God, right? But people, everybody got different qualities. It's not the same. So that is due to past karma. But then God is again saying, okay, everything comes from me, right? Good or bad? Is it both then?
So this whole thing belongs to him. All the qualities are supported by him. Okay. Now, when you go to, let us say, a shop, okay, you have the choice to buy whatever you want. Okay. Everything is supported by the, the shop owner, nicely arranged everything. You have the choice to, buy. Just because a shop owner put it there, you can't attribute. So let us say you buy something and then use that to hurt somebody. You can't attribute that hurting to the shop owner, isn't it? Just trying to give an example. So you can use, let us say there's a knife, for example, in this shop. Shop owner keeps a knife. Now you use that knife, and you can cut vegetables, you can cook food with it. I mean, because you cut the vegetables, and so that is good purpose. One can use the knife to hurt other person. So it is not the shop owner who is responsible for the other activity of hurting, right? Now one can say, hey, why even these qualities are existing, right? I mean, why should Paramatma even create such a quality? Now imagine the exact same example. Why somebody has to put knife? Because let us say somebody used knife to hurt somebody. Okay. Then government takes a decision. Okay, no knives anywhere in the world. Okay. What will happen? You can't cut anything, like vegetables or anything that you want to, even to make this nice table. Nothing can be cut if there's no knife. Or you cannot cut tree and make firewood. You cannot. So basically, our life will come to standstill. Now, so you can use that knife for any purpose. Same way, Paramatma has given this entire universe is combination of all these qualities. No quality is bad quality. Okay, but how we use it can make it bad quality. So, for example, sleep. Okay, now is sleep required? Sleep is associated with tamas quality. Okay, is sleep required or not required?
It's required.
Required. When it is in a proper time, proper duration. But if somebody is sleeping 24 hours a day or not sleeping at all, in both the cases, they'll go crazy or they'll become useless.
Yeah,
Okay?
both are bad.
So, right. So sleep is good quality to have when we use it properly. Okay. So same way, Rajasic, it's good quality to have when we want to do certain activities. Okay. If if Rajasic quality is not there, then we will not feel like doing anything, right? So will not, that ability. That's what Paramatma said, right? That ability to do activities is associated with Rajasic. It is him. It's his quality, supported by him. I mean, it's not. Okay, we'll come later on. If you when somebody has Rajasic quality, is pure Rajasic quality, is it Paramatma or not? That will come to it later. But that quality is supported by him.
Okay, so it's how you use it. Okay.
Right. So there's nothing that is useless in this world. So even bacteria, for example, bacteria and virus are necessary for us to live. But if the virus that is supposed to be outside doing other activities enters into our body, that may cause problem, right? So any being is very useful. Like a snake, for example, is useful for us because it takes care of the mice, right? So it is good for the nature. But if you get the snake and put it in a bedroom, it is not good,
Mhm.
right? So so it is not God's fault that something is going wrong here, right?
Right. Yeah.
And also we cannot blame God that why you created that quality. There's no, I mean, even like if we don't understand it, say for example, let us say take this example of a snake. Let's say I've never seen a snake eating a mouse, right? So we think, oh, it's a useless creature. It's only hurting us, we think, right? That is our ignorance. Because of which we are thinking that is useless. But in fact, it is useful for other beings. It may not be useful for human beings. Maybe it is useful for other beings also. Right? Nothing. It's not that everything has to be useful to human beings only. Right? It's a chain. Right? Human beings may depend on something. That may depend on something else. That may depend on something else. So we are not directly dependent on the 3 levels, 4 levels down. But if that is not there like if we think that is useless for us and eliminate it, the entire system collapses,
Mm.
right? So nothing is created as a waste.
Mhm.
It is how we use it or how we see it as,
How we see it. Yeah.
whether it's useful for us or not. That's how we think. It's always useful. If
If we
not for
use
us, it
for
is useful for some other beings. Yeah.
right. So point is if we use it for good purpose or bad purpose.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Okay, Andy, got it.
So-
Thank you, Andy. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so the bijam word is used in 3 other places. Even in chapter 10 also it is used. Aham bija pradashpita.
Yes. Bijam. Yes. So again, where he's explaining about himself in a short summary, right? So all the qualities he mentioned, that I am the origin also he mentioned. Everything emanates, comes out of me, he's mentioning. He elaborates further later also. Yes. I mean, he also explains about all the qualities later again. Okay. Okay, sloka 11. What is sloka 11? Listen. Balam balavatam chaham
Balam
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 balavatam chaham
kamaraga vivarjitam
kamaraga vivarjitam
dharma viruddho bhuteshu
dharma viruddho bhuteshu
kamosmi bharatarshabha.
kamosmi bharatarshabha
Listen to it. Balam
balam
balavatam
balavatam
chaham
chaham kamaraga
kamaraga
vivarjitam
vivarjitam
dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha.
So Lord Krishna is saying, Hey Bharatarshabha, O Arjuna, aham balam balavatam. I am the strength of the strong. In the previous sloka, Lord Krishna said, I am the intelligence of the wise. Right? I am the mental strength of powerful. Now he's saying, I am the strength of the strong. So again, the quality of a strong person is the strength, right? So I am that strength. So the strong person cannot say, I ate these things and I developed this strength by myself. This is my quality. and I'm supporting that quality through all this eating and all that. I mean, no matter how much that person eats, the Paramatma does not support that quality of strength, it will not be there. Kama raga vivarjitam, free from. So now this is a qualification. I am the strength of the strong, kama raga vivarjitam, free from kama and raga. Okay. So again, the qualification, right? So I can use that strength for, acquiring things, satisfying my own desires, or hurting somebody. Okay. So that's why Lord Krishna is qualifying the strength that is free from kama and raga. Okay. That means that is the strength that is not derived based on the desires and attachment. So we learned that if you have the attachment, it turns into desire. If the desire is not fulfilled, it becomes anger. Anger is not controlled, then it becomes rage, right? And then with rage, what somebody does, hurt somebody, right? That is the strength that is coming out. So that is not the strength that Lord Krishna is talking about. Okay. So the strength of a strong person who is free from the kama and raga. Kama raga vivarjitam. Bhuteshu dharma aviruddha kamaha asmi. Kama kamosmi Bharatarshava. Say, right? He is a desire. I am the desire, he said. Then he say, oh, if he is a desire, then we should have it. Right? So Lord Krishna qualified it again. Desire that is not against dharma in all beings. Dharma aviruddha bhuteshu. So it is a desire that is not adharmic.
But is there a balance, sir, in this universe? Dharma, dharma? Or can I say that, if there is no balance of this trigunas or whatever, right? That's when pralaya comes. Can we say that? Because everything is in him, good and bad. So
Okay. In a different way, it is not like he has to keep balance and things like that. So when why would Paramatma take incarnation, avatara, right? He clearly said that he will take the avatara incarnation when the adharma exponentially grows, right? And dharma falls down. So then he has to come and correct in whatever form it is. We may not, it may not be in a human form, right? So he's the one who will make sure that adharma is removed and dharma is improved, right? So, yeah, but there is no such thing like, okay, always it has to be in balance. I mean, ideally there should not be any adharma. Lord Krishna is saying, don't do any adharma only, right? So, and he is giving all these principles in Bhagavad Gita to practice dharma, our own dharma. So when adharma increases, then yeah, he has to come and intervene, basically, and remove the adharma or whoever is causing the adharma. So the desires. There are two ways to understand that. Like you can have a desire that is dharmic. Like people can marry. People can marry, have kids, and on. So that is it is the dharma. But people, human beings cannot become like dogs and cats and animals and do whatever they want, right? So that becomes adharmic for human beings. It may be dharmic for dogs, but not dharmic for human beings. So that is again the desire which is dharmic. There is another way of looking at it is that when so let us say you have a duty, so we covered this earlier also. So you want to, if you have a desire to succeed in the duty, isn't it? I mean, you're doing a particular duty, you want to be successful in it. So you have a desire to complete that activity. You may have a goal for it. So I mean, that's why we are to separate out the desire from from that activity, which is dharmic. That goal. You can have a goal, and then you can pray to Paramatma to to enable, to make it possible for us to reach the goal, because he's the one who will give the result to us, right? So we can have, if you are treating that as a desire to achieve success in your goals, okay, in your activities, which is the dharmic desire, it is not wrong. Okay, so again, it is we should not take it as the desire that is because of the kama and raga. See, desires can be because of the attachment and materialistic nature that are not associated with our duties. Okay, which are not dharmic. And anything that is associated with our duty is dharma, right? Dharmic. So a desire that is adharmic, we should not have. A desire that is not adharmic is what Paramatma. That quality of our desire to achieve success in our activities is that quality is Paramatma. Okay, so again, the having strength is good. Use it for proper purpose, not not affected by your desires and anger, right? So then that strength is good. The desire associated with the dharmic activity is good. I want to do good for this society. If you call that as a desire, then it's good. I mean, you don't even have to say, this is my desire. I have a goal of doing this because it is my duty to do it. Okay, so that we will not be confused about this concept of desires, because in some places Lord Krishna clearly mentioned desires are enemies, right? The primary enemies are desire. So this is a goal because it is associated with the dharmic activities. Okay, so that quality is Paramatma. Okay, so we move on to sloka 13. Sorry, 12. Sloka 12. Please chant. Ye chaiva satvika bhavaha
ये चैव सात्विका भावाः
rajasastamasa
राजसास्तामसाश्चये
matta eveti tan vidhi
मत्त एवेति तान् विद्धि
Natvaham teshu te mai.
Natvaham
teshu te mayi.
mayi.
Let's chant together. Ye
Chaiva
chaiva
Satvika
Bhava
Rajasa
Rajasa
Matta
Matta
Eti
Vidhi
Natvaham
Teshu te mayi.
Lord Krishna is saying,
How about you?
Yecha eva satvikaha rajasaha tamasaha bhavaha. So now we're getting into these qualities. Satvikaha rajasaha tamasaha bhavaha. Yecha, those things which are sattva, rajas and tamas. Okay. Bhava, I mean, all these, those which are having these qualities, okay, those objects which are having these qualities, te mattaha eva iti tan vidhi. Understand them to have proceeded from me. Okay, they exist because of me. So now, in the previous, slokas, we learned about all beings. All beings have these three qualities: sattva, rajas, and tamas, in different combinations, right? No, it's not that one being will have only sattva, other being will have only rajas, and other being only tamas. Every being is a combination. Every entity is a combination of sattva, rajas, and tamas gunas. All these, okay, understand them to be coming from me. They exist because of me. Okay. Now comes the very confusing part. Na aham teshu asmi. I am not in them. Tu te mai eva. Tu means but. Te mai eva. But they are in me. So Lord Krishna is saying that all these, beings which have these qualities, sattva, rajas, and tamas, they are originating from me. They are existing because of me. Okay. I am not in them, but they are in me. So how can you say I'm not in them, they are in me?
because he's not affected by those.
Yeah, they're in me because we came out of him, right? We are like a string. Right? Like he's a thread, like we are string because we are part of his body, all our atmas, right?
Yes. Okay. So that is one. Because, let's say, I have this hand, this leg, this, they're all in me, right? And if I'm considering myself as a body, these ears are in my body, in me, nose is in me, and maybe heart is in me, lungs are in me, right? So all these beings are parts of his body, so they are in Paramatma. Okay, so that explains they are in me. But what explains I'm not in them? But because we know he's Antaryami, he's there in every being. So that's what he say, right? So it is, isn't it little confusing that I'm not in them.
They are in his control.
Mm. He supports them. Okay. And yes, he can control them, but he gives the option for the beings to, use whatever is in. So so again, if he's the one who is controlling, then somebody can argue saying that, oh, why he didn't control somebody from doing bad activity, right?
Mm.
That kind of question comes up. But so he does not depend on anybody. He is the supreme, the most powerful, whatever, all the auspicious qualities. But the actions that anybody takes are belonging to who? I mean, they. So there are two ways of doing it, right? If I am doing any action as my duty, as an activity of Paramatma, Paramatma is the one, using me as an instrument in letting me talk today. Okay. So I'm just an instrument. So that is one way of thinking. So that is the right way of doing our activities to serve all beings as service to God, to surrender to Paramatma, think we are the instruments. The result is because of him, the energy provided by him. So all that, all those concepts come to us, and then we do the activity. Then, and not only that, it is his activity. And it's not that I think, oh, this is my activity, but Paramatma is supporting. No, this activity is also Paramatma activity. I'm doing it. So then it is the dharmic way of doing our activities. But if I am thinking, if like a regular person, let us say, I am doing this activity, okay, for myself, okay, for my own benefit. That is another way of doing the activity, which is not correct. But so when Paramatma says that I am in, all beings are in me, but I am not in them.
If I'm doing a dharmic way, that means he's not in that. That's what it is referring to, right?
Right.
Nirguna.
Yeah. So one thing directly that we can say is he is not deriving any benefit from any of these beings. Okay. So there is no benefit that he would get from any of. See, it is not like, I'm thinking that, okay, this is Paramatma's activity. I am doing this activity, right? Paramatma is activity. I am doing it as an instrument, as his instrument. Okay. I'm just an instrument there. Now I can think that Paramatma is the one who is getting benefit, right? See, that's how, if I'm saying that it is not my activity, I'm doing somebody else's activity. Say I'm doing your activity, for example, right? I earn something, then who is the one who is getting benefit?
Good.
Your benefit. I'm doing it for your benefit, right? Because so can I think that this activity is for Paramatma's benefit?
You're not getting anything out
He
of it.
does not need any benefit from us. Like say, for example, you are the most richest richest person on earth. Let us say $300 trillion. Let's say I'm doing some small activity and earning $50 for you. I mean, is it really a benefit for you? No, right? So Paramatma does not need any benefit from any of this activity. He does not need benefit from any of these qualities, any of the beings. Okay. So he is not dependent on any of this. Another way of looking at it is, so if I'm doing some work on your behalf for your benefit, right? Then you become dependent on this activity, isn't it? Let us say all employees are working in a company. The company is dependent on those employees. Employees are, working for the benefit of the company. So, in this particular case, even though he created all these things, it is not for his benefit. He does not need to get any benefit from any of these people. Okay, any of these beings, which are created and all that. So Paramatma does not derive any benefit from them. That is, I'm not in them for the sake of getting benefit from any of these. I'm not in this quality because it is going to help me. I'm not in this person because he's going to, I mean, that's what typically we think. So he's making it very clear. So I'm not in this just to get the benefit. I'm in this to support. So when I say I'm not in them means I'm not deriving any benefit from any of those activities. So God is not gaining or losing anything. Okay. I mean, so one typical thing that we think, okay, Lord Krishna and Arjuna situation. Arjuna doesn't want to fight, right? He didn't want to fight. So Lord Krishna says, he explains, it is your duty, you have to do this. Okay. Now, is it for Lord Krishna? Lord Krishna is incapable of doing any, the taking care of the adharma in the society. No, right? It is, he's telling Arjuna to fight for his own benefit. I mean, so that he will not acquire karmic bondage. Right? So for his own, we can say the benefit of the Atma, Arjuna, he is giving the knowledge to Arjuna saying, this is not correct. This is what you need to do. Okay. Not that, somebody may say like, oh, Krishna had this motive, he wanted to do this, and then Arjuna, he does not need Arjuna, he doesn't need anything from Arjuna. And Arjuna should never have a feeling that, oh, just because I fought, the dharma that prevailed, and that's what you wanted, Krishna. You needed me to fight. No. So Paramatma is not in in all these things that we learned so far. Is not in that to get some benefit out of them. He is in them to support them. Okay, and all of them are inside him. One other example is we can say, oh, Paramatma is in every being, right? Let me acquire all these materialistic things. And then say, oh, Paramatma is in everything, so let me acquire 100 kgs of gold, 10 cars, I'll run after all these things, and then say, I'm doing it to acquire Paramatma, right? So again, that is incorrect, thinking. Paramatma is in them, in Antaryami, but it is like this. So if let us say all of them are my parts of my body, but when, let us say, I cut my hair, okay, so when it is in my body, it is part of my body, right? So I can say this hair is me, right? I'm in the hair. But when this hair is separated out, am I in it? No, right? So when you look at any of this as independent of Paramatma, is not in them. So of course, nothing can be separated from Paramatma. Like if I cut my hair, that hair becomes separate from me. You cannot say that that is me anymore, right? It is not like quality can be separated from Paramatma. That can never happen. But that quality is not Paramatma. You got it? So if you look at a quality, you can't say that quality is Paramatma. That quality is supported by Paramatma, but that quality is not Paramatma. Okay, so somebody is doing some bad activity, let us say, then that is not Paramatma. It is supported by Paramatma, but it does not represent Paramatma. He is not in it. He is not in it to get any benefit, right? So another way of looking at it is because somebody did an activity taking God's name, and that then you can't say God is the one who is going to acquire karmic bondage. So he is not in it to get karmic bondage. He's not in it to get get any benefit out of it, and it is not him who is. I mean, that quality does not directly represent Paramatma.
So why do we say he will support that quality, right? Then,
Yeah.
but if it's bad quality, going to support it. It's
As I said,
confusing.
there's no bad quality. The quality that is out of place, out of time, in excess or low, that becomes bad quality, right? So that quality by itself is not Paramatma. See, it is like you cannot say the tamasic quality, the quality of tamas is Paramatma. You can't say that. Okay, that quality is supported by Paramatma. Okay, so he is in all beings to support, but he is not in all beings to get benefit out of them. Now we are over time by 10 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll conclude. Well, 12 sloka. Let's conclude with the concluding prayer. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यज्जत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि श्रीमन्नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः जय श्रीमन्नारायण
Jai Shri
जय
Mannarayan.
श्रीमन्नारायण everyone.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much,
much.
Andy.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jai Shri Narayana.
Jai Shri